I'm your host, Logan43. You're joining me for Courtesan, Rome, Chapter 18. 8 years ago in Gaul! You lie on your stomach on a high, sturdy branch, while Syphax clings to the trunk beside you. Below, a long line of Gauls, bloody clothes, are marched through the forest by armored legionnaires. Slaves. The Romans are driving them south to sell. You keep your voice to the barest whisper, but even so, one of the swollen-eyed children glances up. You hold your breath, waiting until he passes. We should free them. We can't. We can take the soldiers by surprise, buy the slaves time to escape. Syphax. We would just be captured ourselves. For a moment, you think your brother will argue, and then his face sags as he recognizes the reality. I know. Below, the line seems endless. Warriors in front, then women, and over 24 children bringing up the rear, coughing and weeping. What would you do if it were you down there? I would... Anything to stay alive, because you may get free. I want to live. Gods forgive me. I cannot draw the line anywhere but there. I would die. I would force them to kill me. His fingers tighten, nails digging into the bark of the force of his grip. I would rather be dead than live like a slave. The die is cast. Flavis flicks a finger, and his men fan out, blocking you, your father, and Syphax from the exits. You really never learn, do you, Victus? You look at Flavis's guards, heavily armored and armed with spears, and give them the advantage over your father's gladius. Your dagger feels tiny and useless. I'm with company this time. Who do you have here? Walda's new fighter? Lena's girl? What's one of the most expensive courtesans in Rome doing with a dried-up old man like... At the moment, Flavis's eyes light on you, and your father charges, fury clouding his face. Ha! His wrist is held loosely at his waist, ready to flick his gladius up and into Flavis's unprotected gut. Just look out! Back down! Your father turns too late as the guard lets out his left meets his charge with a loaded spear. But Syphax slashes out with his gladius, and the guard falls in a spray of blood. You'll pay for that, upstart! You take a step back, searching for an exit, a weapon, any advantage. Your father cuts down another guard with a ferocious chop of his gladius. Blood dyes the sands, black in the darkness. Aaron, get out of here! You ignore your father, grabbing a handful of fine arena sand, you fling it into the face of an oncoming guard as you try to wrestle a sphere out of his hands. Heron! At that moment, you feel the press of cold iron between your shoulder blades. Don't move! You freeze near the guard, closes in on you. Then you hear a strangled gasp and see that your father has Flavis's tunic bunched in one powerful fist. Gladius fades his throat. Tell you're meant to stand down. Never. Let the girl and the slayer go. I'll return willingly. You're my word. I want to scheme again. No. That's not much of an offer. I already own you. Well, your life is also at his hand. Syphax lowers his gladius, stepping over the body of the fallen guard, sand before Flavius. Take me instead. What? Syphax, no! He's old. After 8 years in the ring, how many more fights does he have left? Keep wondering that. He's surprising me so far. I'm in my prime. Let Victus and the girl go, and I'll join your Ludus for free. Can you do that? Gorla is dead. No one knows this Ludus anymore, much less what happens to each fighter. No, Syphax, you're a free man now, you deserve it. This is my punishment. Take a deep breath and force a smile, knowing you have never needed the skills Lena taught you more now than ever. Choose carefully who you want to save. Your decision here will have lasting consequences. How is this Lena's skills? I'm just saying. You're condemning Syphax with death. No. You arch your neck gracefully to draw Flavius' eye, ignoring the bristling spears. What's the Slayer to you? You turn your most charming smile on Flavius, your mind spiraling quickly through everything your father told you about him. He is my bodyguard, nominee, sentenced to the ring for defending my honor. I have been quite defenseless without him. Flavius looks at you, a familiar look of lust dawning in his eyes. Is that so? You smile sweetly at Flavius, shooting your father a look of apology without moving too close to any of the spears. If you return our bodyguard to us, I can assure you that all the girls of Lena's Chalet would welcome you any time, especially me. Flavius' jaw slackens as you drop your eyes becomingly and peer up at him through your lashes. Most beautiful woman in Rome. You lick your lip with the tip of your tongue, watching Flavius swallow hard. After a moment, he signals to his guards. Let the girl and the new blood go. That's what you asked for, right, Conquered King? Is that enough for you? Your father's jaw tightens, and you see what it costs him to finally move his gladius aside without slashing Flavius' throat. At the same moment, the spears surrounding you drop away as the guards grab your father instead. I promise I will see you again. You move closer, ignoring the guards on either side of him as you murmur too softly for Flavius to hear. Father, I will be back for you. I swear whatever happens, you will be free again. Never doubt it. Aaron, if we're going, it has to be now. Let's see what a good flogging teaches you about trying to escape. At spear point, Flavius and his guards march your father back underground as Syphax hurries you to the exit. He's a brave man, Aaron. A good father. He went willingly so that we could be safe. I know. Leaving the arena, you and Syphax stumble quickly through the labyrinth of Rome's streets. We should make haste in case Flavius reports us. I don't trust him not to send someone after us. Flavius leads you around a corner. And suddenly you find yourself at the docks, on Zyber, listening to the peaceful lapping of the water against the riverbed. Syphax stares out, taking in his freedom. This day came far sooner than I thought it would. It feels truly incredible to be free. Thank you. Syphax squeezes your arm as tears well in his eye. Beautiful moon. Sorry I failed to save you sooner. Don't you dare do that to yourself. You spared me execution and allowed me the chance to put my fate in my own hands. An execution would have never have faced if not for me. I made my choice, Aaron. You haven't given me a reason to regret it. Without the time I spent as a gladiator, I might still only be humoring your hatred for Rome. Humoring? I always supported you. I didn't truly understand as we one person standing against an empire, an different empire alone. I didn't mean to drag you into a losing fight. Your fight is mine now, Aaron. I won't see Rome use its power to destroy any more lives. Then I welcome your sword in our cause. A night, my first night of freedom. Glance at the ships mooring along the dock and know that someday soon, Caesar will sail back into Rome. And one of my last. I gave Antony my word, and now he holds my father as surety. When Caesar returns to Rome, I will go to him. You take a step back from the docks, turning reluctantly back towards the city, but Syphax grabs your hand. Aaron, I don't know what will happen. Go to Caesar, but right now, tonight, we are both free, and I'm not ready to that to end. Can we not steal this one night for ourselves? What do you have in mind? I came to the river because I have spent too long underground. I want to get clean, breathe air that doesn't stink of the city. It is lovely here. Swim with me under the stars. Pretend for a little bit that we have no obligations to return. Going to fix a moonlight swim to celebrate your night of freedom in this exclusive scene. Turn to the chalet. Honestly, I would rather a hot bath at the chalet, not a dirty river. Are you coming back to the chalet now? I had just assumed. Of course. There's nothing more I want than be your bodyguard again, Aaron. You and Syphax went home together. Then let's get back without delay. Now playing as Delphinia. Wait, is it Caesar? Cleopatra stands at Caesar's side before a vast throng of her subjects. You and Marcella kneel at their feet under the blistering sun. You join the chorus of voices. Please, praise Cleopatra. My brother's scheming advisors have poisoned him against me, seating him on the throne. Cleopatra waits in silence, allowing her words to settle. Behind you, murmurs ripple through the crowd. We are not dolls, not playthings, and we will not be controlled by a child and his advisors. The crowd murmurs, erupt into roars. The chant of no more Cleopatra waits for their silence. But I have formed an alliance with Julius Caesar of Rome. My aid, your queen will reclaim the palace and all of Egypt from the usurper, Ptolemy. Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt! Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt! No, this is not only my will, but the will of Isis. Cleopatra summoned you to rise and address her subjects. Great Mother Idris. Supports her rule, wishes only for peace, backs no alliance with Rome. Wishes only for peace. Cleopatra glares at you before twisting your words. There will be no peace so long as Ptolemy's advisors lead him falsely. We will claim our peace with arms. Who will fight for Egypt? The crowd surges forward. I will! I'll be your sword! For Queen! For Egypt! Because you're all idiots. As the cries from the crowd build, taking over your thoughts, your limbs begin to quake and your eyes flutter. The world around you fades away as a vision swallows you whole. The sound of swords, cries, of agony flood the silence. A shadowy figure appears in the distance, growing clearer. Oh wow. I was always wondering what happened to Syphax. Before you, Syphax swings a sword, cutting through the empty air of the edge of the Nile. Syphax, here! Syphax turns to face you, and you see he's dressed in the armor of a Roman legionnaire. With his gladius, Syphax cleaves through you, as if slicing through smoke. You open your eyes to the throngs of people surging around you. Marcella holds them back. What did you see? But you cannot answer. The force of your vision pulling you forward as you join the crowd. Quickly become a mob, they follow Caesar towards the palace, knives and sickles in their hand. Please, Mother, if he is here, bring him to me. Ahead of you, the crowd clears and Syphax stands before you on the riverbank, pulling his blade from the crumpled corpse of an Egyptian soldier. Syphax! Gladius falls from his hand as tear spreads across his face. Mother, who did? I would say the first thing to say is, I'm so glad you're alive. Stay away from me. Stay back, Phantom. My mother died 8 years ago. I am alive, as you are, son. Your eyes fall to his hands, and Syphax's gaze follows yours. He tries to wipe the blood that drips from them. This is my punishment. Only did what I had to survive. Syphax, that is all we ask of you. I will not judge you for what you had to do. You should. I should have died. Member of the Antony. I should have died with honor. Just then a voice comes from further up the bank. Move it, Syphax. Syphax lifts his gladius from where it fell. With well-trained obedience, he turns on his heels and sprints after his commander. Wait! The palace! As you catch sight of Caesar, the head of the army, the air shimmers in, and you're plunged into another vision. Caesar lies dead on a mosaic floor, dozens of stab wounds riddling his body as a pool of blood slowly spreads out beneath him. In the shadows stands Aaron, holding a knife triumphant. When your vision clears, Marcella has caught behind you. We need to get out of here. Not protesting, you let her lead you away from the battlefield and back to the safety of the temple. What did Isis show you, Holy Mother? I must leave for Rome immediately. For Rome? But the temple? My daughter is there. You take a breath, looking up where Cleopatra still stands, beautiful and terrible in her golden cape. Marcella bows her head. As you must, Holy Mother. The Queen has requested a servant of the goddess to attend her. She and Caesar journey to Rome. Of course she did. Now, playing as Aaron. Several weeks later, Antony comes to the chalet, and intense look on his face. Caesar's ship was spotted downriver. He will still make landfall before the sun sets. Today. Abu swings over, curious about the visitor and the news he brings. It's alright, Abu. Caesar's not here yet. I trust you remember the terms of our agreement. Your teeth clench only for a moment before you manage a smile. Of course, Domini. And then he snaps for a servant who brings in a brightly colored bundle. The rumors I hear are that this Egyptian queen is the most beautiful woman in the world, that she has Caesar eating out of her hand. They say she's already borne him a son, which is more than any of his wives have managed. I hope you're not expecting me to meet with her on that front. I expect not. But she can hardly hold the same allure for him now. He unfurls the parcel, and you see it's a dress in the Egyptian styles, fine linen belted with jewels. But, just in case, let's make sure you play to his proclivities. My mother was Egyptian, you know. All the better then. In this, you will look like a princess to rival any queen. Wear the Queen of the Nile to entice Julius Caesar, and Up stage, Queen Cleopatra. Take a gander. I mean, it's not bad. Is it me, or does she seem a little bit more tan than we last left her? Just my thought. She seems a little, at least to me, a little bit more tan. I would rather wear something Roman, not to try to compete with Cleopatra on her terms. Perhaps you're right. He has been in Egypt for over a year now. A taste of home may draw him more. But choose carefully. Whatever you wear must be suitable for the most powerful man in the world. Tap the closet to see your wardrobe. Blah 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 blah. Don't care. Didn't they announce that this is going to be a one-up book too? Kind of saying. A large crowd is gathered at the river by the time Caesar's ship comes into sight. Hail Caesar! Praise his name! As the ship moors, Caesar himself makes his way down the flank. Greetings, people of Rome. The people cheer themselves hoarse. Antony whispers in your ear. Remember, I need you to please him. I will do what I have to. Do my best. Be thinking only of you. Do what I have to. And then he gives you a hard look, but you meet his gaze with a perfect innocence. I know what you need of me. Fine, Caesar. Slender, hard-faced woman in golden cloak disembarked. Caesar offers her a delicious hand as she steps confidently on the dogs. I present Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, and our esteemed vassal of Rome. Behind her comes a young man with a grim smile fixed on his face. But you all know Marcus Julius Brutus, the right hand of Pompey, the Great, and now my sworn ally. Indeed, may the gods see peace between us forevermore. Let his presence at my side be proof to me that the Senate and the great families of Rome and I are reconciled. Glance across the crowd and see Cassius catch Brutus's eye. Great Caesar, all of Rome welcomes your return. Antony steps forward to meet Caesar at the end of the dock, drawing you into his wake. I have cared for Rome in your absence, Caesar. To welcome you home, I offer you this gift as tribute. The most beautiful in Rome, Aaron, finest courtesan of Lena's chalet. I will be pleased to serve you, Domine. Caesar looks you over with a wry smile. I give Mark Antony of Rome, and in return I get one woman. Caesar, I am worth all of Rome. Antony would never offer you less than the best. Antony has always had exquisite taste. Caesar's eyes lock on yours until the Egyptian queen gives us a kiss of displeasure. And what possible use did you think Caesar would have for a courtesan when he has won the heart of the Queen of Egypt? Quiet, the adults are talking. Look over the queen, she is beautiful but brittle. Perhaps I can serve you both. You meet the queen's eyes boldly, your gaze traveling up the sheer linen skirt over the golden plates of her bodice. A very generous gift, then. Indeed. Cleopatra looks away from you and back towards the ship, The rest of her attendants are disembarking. She pitches her voice to her through the crowd. Then we accept your gift, Antony, and present Rome one of our own. She indicates a woman dressed in burnished robes, an Egyptian priestess, carrying a baby in a richly embroidered tunic. Syrianism, son of Julius Caesar and heir to Egypt and Rome. Now they say babies are kinda quite ugly when they're first born. Yep, you broke that mold. The crowd reacts with shock and horror to Cleopatra's announcement. Never. But you cannot take your eyes from the woman holding the child. Despite her fancy headdress, you know her anywhere, as well as you know yourself. Aaron. You and your mother both join the crowd following Caesar's procession as he winds through the streets of Rome, with pointed people joining his wake on every block. Mother. Your mother hoists baby Syrian in her left arm, right hand coming down to squeeze yours. Aaron, great mother brought me to you. I thought I might never see you again. I thought you might be dead. The goddess watches over us both. Mother, I need to know what you're doing here. I missed you so much. Glad you're alive. The goddess still has need of me. As do I. Mother Isis sent me a vision of you, Aaron. You will be the one to bring Caesar's death. Then the goddess favors our plan? Perhaps, but be careful, Aaron. Many dangers still lie ahead. When has that stopped me? You were always just like your father. Father, have you seen him yet? Your mother stops so abruptly the baby squawks in protest. Your father is here. Yes, he is a famous gladiator, the conquered king. He is in the barracks at the arena right now. I must see him. The baby starts crying. Your mother distractedly hands him to his nurse and hurries away to find your father. Later, Caesar summons you to meet him in the Forum. Domni, I trust you have recovered from your journey? Why are you here? What is Antony's plan? Domni, do you really want to talk about Antony? You step closer to Caesar, laying a cool hand on his shoulder. He doesn't stop you. I'm certain we could find more interesting things to do. Indeed. Without his armor, Caesar seems more man than god. You can hear his breath quicken as you trace a finger across the sweep of his toga. Caesar takes your hand, turning it palm up. Prepare to kiss it, or perhaps examine it for hidden poisons. I've been gone for over a decade. Rome may be the eternal city, but here things can change in such time. I've always been thinking to ask Antony what I can expect, but perhaps you'll offer a more honest view. Honesty isn't what most men want from me. Caesar's smile is hungry, and he lowers his lips to your palm. Indulge me. What do you think of Antony as managed Rome? Was I wrong to trust him to rule? Antony is well liked among the plebs, but most of the patricians despise him. Good reason or bad? Perhaps both. I think Antony cares more for making grand promises than figuring out how to execute them. Ah, Cleopatra. The truth people would turn on me barely for bringing an Egyptian queen to Rome. That cannot be a surprise to you. You know the men of Rome far better than I do. Excuse me. We will never rule the world by limiting our loyalty to a few founding families. If we are to be a republic, let us be a republic Open the way for everyone to have a voice, no pure Roman or not. We'll be an empire with one man of vision stepping past those blind fools of your senate. You both turn to see the Queen of Egypt approaching, the sun is setting, turning her golden ramlets bloody red in the light. My queen. Caesar drops your hand in surprise. These senators have already tried all they could to destroy you. Why do you care what they think? Her voice is deep for a woman's, with a smooth, almost hypnotic tone. Her slight accent only serves to emphasize each word. Rome is not Egypt. It will not stand to be ruled by a king. Then what are you, if not their king? Who else do they have that compares? There are laws. Yes, laws that keep you married to that puling Calpurnia. When I deliver you the breadbasket of the East and a son of your blood. You flinch but stand your ground when the Queen suddenly turns her flashing eyes on you. And you! Is this why Antony sent you? To seduce Caesar away from me and back to Rome? Your Majesty, that is far beyond my ability. Romans will never accept a woman like you. Perhaps it is you wish me to seduce. I'm gonna be honest here. That's far beyond my abilities. Perhaps it is you wish to. Middle one is no. Middle one is never. I have to remember the role we're in, so I'm gonna go with, perhaps it is you wish me to seduce. You lick your lips, and they rise boldly, touches your cheek, and how is cool, it's in the soft as milk. She is set to bathe in. And what am I to mock Antony that would offer such a gift? Perhaps I am the one offering. The sun has fallen by now, shrouding the forum in darkness. Caesar turns away. I will not discuss this with you here, my queen. We can air our grievances in private. He begins to walk away, but Cleopatra doesn't follow. I am not toting, Senator, to be summoned at your command. This is not Alexandria. You are my guest here. As you were mine. But it was a far warmer welcome I gave you. Caesar hesitates, then his gaze falls on you and he looks away. Going home. You may do as you wish. With a furious toss of her head, the queen turns her back on him, walking in the other direction. Follow Caesar, or Cleopatra, to seduce them. Exclusine, or use all your wiles to seduce them both. Why? Seriously, they're both evil people. Why? Why would I want to seduce either one? Someone explain this to me. Let them leave. Watch their retreating backs. Do with the most powerful people in the world. Perhaps it's best not to come between them. You turn and head for home. Several nights later, I've been spending a lot of time with Brutus since he returned. Caesar seems confident that Brutus is firmly in his camp now. Brutus has been the son of Caesar's heart for many years, but he still resents being forced to swear loyalty. He'll never forget the sting of defeat. So what are you hoping Brutus will do? Listen to me. I don't think I can ask for more than just that. Yet, Brutus cares about nothing so much as his honor and his family name. It will take a lot to make him go back on a formal oath to Caesar. Do you think you can convince him? I think Brutus will see eventually that it's impossible to defeat Caesar in the courts or on the battlefield, and there is no limit to his ambition. The Egyptian queen makes a case all clear. It's obvious she sees Caesar as Rome's king, and that's one thing Brutus will never tolerate. Why not? What does it matter to him? Brutus is a direct descendant of the man who exiled the last king of Rome and founded the Republic. To have anyone declare himself king would be an affront to all of his family has achieved. Then what will Brutus see as the alternative? Cassius stands and crosses to the shrine, looking at the candles burning, there to honor those lost in Pompey's army. There's only one way to get rid of Caesar now. He must be killed. He smiled coldly. I believe I finally have access to do just that. Later, you go to Lacosta's in search of a poison to use on Caesar, and find Sabina there behind the counter. Sabina! Aaron! What are you... Evidently my husband somehow landed himself up to his eyebrows in debt to Caesar. He took everything, the house, the property. I have nothing. I'm sorry. Don't be. Lacosta's letting me stay here and train me to work with poisons and herbs. I never pictured you as a wise woman. Lacosta comes out of the back room with a smile. I decided to take on an apprentice. I won't be around forever, and I'd like to pass my knowledge to someone who will use it for the good of women who trust in me. I can honestly say there's never been anything I've liked better. She won't wear the headdress, though. Sabina wearily eyes the skull and feathers array on Lacosta's head. I'm not sure that's necessary. You and Lacosta both laugh. Sabina, now I'll always know you're safe. I won't have to worry about you anymore. I hope you'll still worry a little. Lacosta brushes aside a bundle of strong-smelling herbs and clears some room on the counter. So what are you here for today, Aaron? I hear Antony presented you to Caesar himself on his grand return. Dare I assume? Caesar has asked me to perform tonight at a party he's hosting for all the prominent men of Rome. If he invites me to be alone with him after, I'd best be prepared. Lacosta smiles mirthlessly and then gestures to Sabina. The aconitum is over there, under the saffron. You want to grind 3 times with the pestle. Following Lacosta's exacting instructions, Sabina slowly mixes up the poison you've requested. Caesar's party that night is at Pompey's former villa, which is taken over from Mark Antony. Senators and their courtesans meal around freely as servants clear the dishes after the lavish meal. You drum your cathara, singing a prayer of thanksgiving to Ceres for the gift of food. Your music truly can charm them, stubborn senators. They are falling over themselves to curry favor with you already. All I do is make it sound better. Caesar looks you over appreciatively. Perhaps not all. You smile and run your fingers suggestively over the cathara strings, bringing forth a ripple of music. Smiles. The guests will be leaving soon. Perhaps I can perform for you privately after. Caesar's mouth tightens in suspicion. Perhaps. I notice you did not invite Queen Cleopatra tonight. Caesar has the good grace to look a little embarrassed. She would do no good to my reputation among the Senate. It's hard for her to accept that she earns no difference merely by being a queen. Caesar! I will have meaning to talk to you about my role here in Rome during Pompey's unfortunate betrayal. Caesar sighs patiently as Senator Lucius approaches and nods his apology to you. Later, then. As he walks off with Lucius, you notice Brutus standing unhappily near the wall, watching the gathering with grim distaste. Still playing the cathara. You walk over. Antony's courtesan. Aaron. Aaron, then. You are here by request of our new dictator for life, I hear. Caesar has declared himself, so then his senators pushed it through for him this morning. For life. It's supposed to be a temporary emergency power. What emergency does Rome even face besides Caesar himself? Brutus looks at you in surprise, taking measures with careful grace. Cassius told me you are far more savvy than anyone gives you credit for. And he told me that you would never fall in line behind a man who thinks to make himself king. Brutus glances around for anyone listening, and you strum the Cathara more loudly to cover your voice. He will, you know. There is no title or power great enough to satisfy a man like Caesar. If the Senate had only tried to stand against him, he is in Rome now. It would not be so easy to force their hand, but when they capitulate so easily... Caesar is too ruthless for the Senate to risk standing against. He slaughtered those who fought with Pompey or Sallus. Do you think he would draw the line at murdering senators in Rome? Brutus frowns, watching Caesar across the room with Lucius and Lyca. Like a father to me once, I cannot imagine him committing murder in cold blood, and not the heat of battle. Imagine it. They are not as different as you think. If he feels threatened enough, any man might kill preemptively. Brutus scowls when Cassius crosses the room to join you. You wouldn't know to look around here how many of these men despise Caesar and speak against him behind the closed doors. They were happy enough to curry his favor in public. Because, yeah, that's what you typically do. You give Brutus a wry smile. As if we do any less? You know as well as I do that standing against Caesar publicly will accomplish nothing, Brutus. It is only behind closed doors that we can plan. Brutus scowls, walking towards the door. I have already told you, Cassius, I made a vow on my honor. I cannot go back on it. You follow him out the door, watching as he stalks down his waiting litter. Cassius leans close to whisper in your ear. He is nearly ready. We just need to only await Caesar's next offense, and Brutus will see there'll be no honor in failing to oppose a tyrant. No doubt. He will give us ample reason soon. Cassius kisses your hand before heading down the walk towards his own waiting litter. I'll call on you tomorrow. As he leaves, you turn and go back inside. Most of the guests have thinned out by now. Caesar firmly shows a few stragglers out, gesturing to his guards. See that they make it home. Yes, Domine. Your heart races as you see the empty room behind them. When the last guest is gone, you will be alone with Caesar. With deliberate nonchalance, you walk over to the tables, find a clean goblet and a pour of wine. While Caesar's back is turned, you slip some of Sabina's poison in the goblet and pour wine to cover it. Swirling the cup to mix them well, you lean back against the table with a seductive smile. Caesar closes the door and approaches you. They despise me. All of them. They are the top of the world, and you want to turn it upside down. Someone needs to. Better me than another Spartacus. He takes the goblet from you, and you glance nervously at the windows. A few guards are still stationed outside. You take Caesar's arm and lead him out to the rear balcony. You take a sip from your own untainted wine as Caesar walks to look out across the hills, wine still untouched. I'm a soldier, not a politician. I prefer to face my enemies in a battle, not a party. No one here tonight would dare oppose you. You move close to Caesar, laying a hand on the arm that holds a goblet, trying to encourage him to drink. They may mutter in the shadows, but no one, not one of them, is man enough to attack you. Caesar frowns, and you put your goblet down and run your hands lightly across the scalp, trying to relax him. Drink, Domini. You need not to guard yourself with me. He looks at you with dawning suspicion. You smile to let him at ease, but he thrusts the goblet in your hand, belligerently. You first. You hesitate, trying to decide what to do, unless there is some reason not to drink. Hold it in your mouth without swallowing. Take a small sip. Well, I'm assuming you would know the counteractive agent if it's poison, correct? So, take a small sip. You hold the goblet to your lips and take the smallest sip you can. You feel the tingle against your lips and your throat goes slightly numb, but you manage a gracious smile. Now you, Domini. He takes the goblet back and drinks deeply, satisfied. Now I believe you promised me a private performance. Suddenly Caesar's face darkens. The goblet drops from his hand and shatters on the stone tiles. He drops to the ground as his eyes roll back in his head and his body starts to seize. Flecks of foam, purplish from the wine, spray from between his lips. That was for Gaul and Katnui. You turn your back on Caesar's twitching body, ready to walk away, just as the guard comes through the rear doors, gaping at you in surprise. Oh. Hello, brother. Cinerex. Next time on Courtesan of Rome, your brother is now a soldier of Caesar's. Will you betray you to Rome, or can you convince him to join your cause? Well, I mean, if Caesar's gonna die, I don't see why he would not join us. So with that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and description below. Links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. It's greatly appreciated. Speaking of links, you can always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. So you should do that. It's Locum23. And speaking of which, are you defenders of beards? Do you like beards? Or do you hate beards? Well, there's a post up on Twitter where it's to save or demolish a beard, and it's mine. So the question is, which side will you be on? Join the fray! Either retweet or like it. Maybe do both if you really want to see me go bald/shaven face. And without further ado, thanks for tuning in. Bye.